In my agency, the most important thing is our process. In an agency context where individual contributors matter slightly less, we actually have to introduce review cycles to make sure that there's levels of redundancy that make our quality or keep our quality higher. Ashore actually allows us to do exactly that. I'm going to start the process by creating a proof. We're just going to give this one a name, like we're going to call it test proof for now. And then I'm going to upload a file. Now, Ashore supports most major file types, everything from videos and images all the way down to proofing live websites. But for the purposes of this demonstration, I'm just going to upload a PDF. And let's just use an example that I'm going to send a PDF to a client for review. I'm going to scroll down here to the bottom of the page, and what's really useful for us when we use Ashore are the proof settings. There's the ability to do things like turn off and on the ability to download a proof, or if I wanted to even add like a not just approved or not approved, but approved with changes or something like this, I could turn that on. And then on the right side of this, there are a bunch of custom fields which I can add whatever is specific to my organization. And that just allows me to append whatever metadata I want to the proof, like PO number or customer, other things like this. So now I'm going to upload the proof. The very first thing that just happened is I got a review link. So there's two kinds of review links. There's an approver link and a commenter link. If I give someone an approver link, they're going to sign off on the proof. If I give someone a comment link, they can review and give their feedback, but they're not necessarily signing off on things. But in my agency, we always opt for using our workflow. So I'm going to select Add Workflow. So at this point, I've been redirected to the proof and it's opened up the drawer here for the workflow management. I actually have a pre-saved workflow that I want to use for this proof. And when I select it, it's going to pre-fill in all the information that I basically want in this workflow stage. I'll break that down for you now. In our process, we have an internal review stage and then we have a customer review stage. In this internal review stage, I want the email to my approvers to come from me. So I've selected that. And then in here, I can search and select for the approvers that I want to send the proof to or the commenters. And I can even BCC people on my team if I want them to get notifications on status changes to this proof. Directly below that, I can write my email or I can select from a predefined email template. And you'll notice in these emails, we actually have things like proof variables. So you can put in a variable for the proof name or the due date or an image of the thumbnail of the proof or the approver's name, all sorts of really cool things like that. And then the last thing in the approval stage is actually the checklist. And you don't have to have a checklist, but what's really helpful for us is that when someone signs off on a proof, that they're actually selecting what they're signing off on. Like I've checked for spelling and error, I've checked for grammar, whatever it might be. And in Ashore, you can actually select different checklists for different approval stages. And for us, that makes a lot of sense because our internal review stage is actually a lot different from our customer review stage, and we're signing off on different things. If I open up the second stage here, I can see the customer review stage is going to come from Abby. So I can actually select that the emails being sent at the customer review stage come from a different person on my team, and I can select the approvers there, and I can change the email, and I can change the checklist. So the entire review process becomes fully automated at this point. I'm gonna go ahead and start this workflow, and the next thing that you're going to see is really cool. Our proof timeline captures every single event that happens to your proof, so there is never any guess on who has received the proof, who's viewed it, who's made comments, who's signed off on it, when new versions have been sent. It's all captured here. And so now, if I can, just for a moment, I want to switch context. I want to look at this proof for this demonstration as if I'm an approver. I received the email here in my inbox. I'm going to select review now. And this is what the review screens look like for your approvers. You can actually white label every single thing on here. You can brand it all for your organization. You can change the domain, you can change the colors on screen, you can change the text and the labels in multiple languages, and you can change the logos as well. You have to understand, when proofing in Ashore, we're working with people who are sometimes not super tech savvy. So it's really, really important that these review screens are really accessible. So when I go to make a comment, these are really simple annotation tools. I'll go ahead and just add an annotation here, and I might say, change the title to X, or I'll go to the next page in the PDF and I might draw a rectangle here. And I can even record myself using our integration with Loom to leave feedback. Hey there. I'll go ahead and add a comment here as well. And after I'm done making my review, I can either go to approve or not approve the proof. And notice that the checklist that we were talking about earlier is here, so I can sign off on these two things. I can provide any other feedback. I love it. And submit my approval. Now I'm going to hop back over into our other context as an Ashore user. That proof timeline has already been updated, and it has every single status change that might have happened when your approver is reviewing the proof. We even capture annotations of the proof comments, and we put those in the timelines as well. So look, there is so much more to show you in Ashore, But hopefully this has been a really great way just to see exactly how you can get the most amount of value as quickly as possible. Ashore is an amazing tool for not just getting feedback, but for automating the approval process. And for us at our agency, we've actually been able to reduce the time it takes to get a file approved by 50%. And that's a huge number for us. And for us, it means more money. Hopefully Ashore can do that for you too. Reach out if you have any questions.